Welcome back to Chopping It Up, the only horror podcast that slices and dices for your listening pleasure. And if you're a new listener, you are in for quite a treat tonight as we kick off our special Prime Cuts extravaganza. Over the next couple months, we'll be covering a series of schlock cult classic horror flicks in succession. And to tackle these films, we've reformed like Voltron, bringing together the most terrifying tag team since Eric and Lyle Menendez. Tonight, we're going to chop up some gastropods, specifically Juan Piquer Simón's disgusting 1988 banger Slugs. All hell breaks loose in a small upstate New York town when toxic waste-created carnivorous slugs enter the water supply and wreak havoc on the townsfolk. Only our protagonist and county health inspector, Mike Brady, can help save the day. If you're interested in watching this movie, it's now available for free via the best app on the planet, Tubi. And as a reminder, Prime Cuts is designed as a quick-hitting, free-form conversation where we discuss a breadth of horror mediums, including anthologies, theatrical releases, graphic novels, shorts, and other forms of media. There's no set agenda here as we shoot from the hip and provide any gleaned insights from our respective viewings. All right, buddies. The first in our new Schlock Horror Prime Cut series. I'm pretty amped for this one. Has anyone seen this before?
First time for me.
Okay. All right. What did you guys think? We can just wrap.
First time.
What's that, Jeannie? Your first time?
Joyfully my first time.
Yes. All right. So first thoughts. I mean, we don't have a structure here. I have a bunch of notes, but we can just jump around. What did you guys? I've seen it a million times. I picked this one, obviously. So what did you guys think?
I just kept thinking wooden acting. Wooden acting. Everybody was very like wooden.
I have as a note porn level directing, plotting, and acting. And it's basically like it's more like a Skinemax 1992 level softcore porn with like some horror elements, like for the first half, and then it goes kind of all the way schlock horror. But like the first half is like this is mostly a softcore porn movie, and then there's a little.
That's kind of a theme for the movies tonight. I feel like.
I didn't. Oh, well, yeah. Well, in our series here, I don't want to give away too much, but there's a very disturbing through line for all of the movies I've chosen for this series, which is not good. We'll explore that later.
I also like to specifically call. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sled. You go first.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say I specifically want to call out the opening
boat
sequence as just like something kind of like truly amazing. And that sort of like sets the tone for some of the other stuff where it was like they're on this boat for how knows how long, and then all of a sudden the girl goes, "Hey, you weren't kidding about fishing." It's like, how long have you been out here? And then all of a sudden now like you're upset, and she takes off her pants for some unknown reason, and then
because she wants to take a dip in the water. Yeah, she wants to go swimming.
But then and then the guy just kind of like jumps in. It was like the worst bit of acting of him like going into the water.
Well, my problem.
I'm not done. Let me finish with just like the last bit of this. And then so he's in the water. Something underwater mauls him, destroys him. Bloody bubbling thing. Mm-hmm. And then they like cut to, slugs. And I'm like, does this death scream slugs to you precisely? His underwater death sort of thing. And it was just sort of, it was just incredible that it had anything to do with slugs whatsoever.
Did they have any other aquatic slugs in it? I'm trying to remember.
I mean, they're in the sewers. That's about
it. They're all over the sewers. I mean, they're in the water supply. I was going to say for that jazz for that scene, it was just so funny. The opening scene. I mean, they're clearly just doing an imitation of an imitation of an imitation of some Jaws shit, right? They just wanted to be under the water, but like even more perplexed. Everything about this movie makes no sense, which I love. So it's like, like you said, she's like, "Why don't we go swimming?" And he's like, "Well, basically, this is like." Runoff from sewage in this water, like you can't go swimming in it, but he's fishing in it, right. And his feet are in the water, and it's very clearly has no compunction about I presumably eating the fucking fish that he's going to catch out of this thing, which is swimming in poop fish. I mean, it's toxic poop fish. I do feel like we got ripped off because there's so many titties, so many gratuitous titties in this film. But for her, it was like we just didn't get it. Like I thought that was going to complete everything right off the bat. She gets half naked, but doesn't actually do anything. He dies, and then we kick into the intro, which the graphics.
I really like the intro.
I was good. The slugs.
Yeah.
The graphics for
The
this
graphics
are
was solid.
Oh my god!
It was just
I was
going to
say
like,
it had
you see that, and then you're like, oh, what a death! And then slugs. Slugs, you think?
Well, let me.
It had pretty good. It had pretty good special effects. I mean,
it did actually.
Respectively, that was like one of the things for how awful the movie was.
I was gonna
special effects were pretty decent.
Like I was gonna say. Joel's not here, and we typically don't do this for Prime Cuts, but I was very excited to kick off this series. So I did a little bit of stuff here. So Slugs is a 1988 film, like we know. It's directed by Juan Piquer Simón, who is a Spanish
an international film, right?
Is it? I mean, so it's a $1 million budget. Okay, produced by
language, Spanish, yeah.
Right. Well, filmed in Lyons, New York, and upstate New York, and Madrid, Spain for the interior and for the interiors. You'll note that the interiors, when they're in the bar or wherever, it's like a weird club vibe.
Yes.
Well, that's because it's in fucking Spain, and all the interiors and the architecture and everything is completely different from this like podunk cowtown in upstate New York. And I was gonna say, so this guy JP Simón, Juan Piquer Simón, he did another horror movie called Pieces, which is also apparently a real classic from 1982. Which he did another one called Mil Gritos Tiene Noche. I don't know. The Night of 1000 Screams, which is what it was called. That was what Pieces was called in Spain. The special effects sled you referred to, which actually weren't awful, Basilio Cortijo and Carlo De Marquis. It was written by Simon and Ron Gantman, but it was based on a 1982 novel by the same name by a guy named Sean Hudson, who is a British guy, who they sort of categorize as a splatter punk horror writer. And he co-wrote the screenplay. I can run down none of the cast was in anything. Michael Garfield plays Mike Brady, our fearless protagonist. He was Rogue Genie from The Warriors.
Oh,
so if you recognized his face did look vaguely familiar. I did not figure it out until I looked it up. And he's actually the one who yells, "Come out, Warriors! Come out and play!" That's him. Like all grown up. Kim Terry plays Kim Brady, his wife. Philip McHale plays Don Palmer, the sanitation inspector. Emilio Lindor, David Watson.
Why did they have the sanitation inspector? We got some local government.
I was gonna say
cops.
You got a sheriff, you got a sanitation guy, and you got the county health inspector. For some reason, they're all showing up together at the crime scene all the time.
There's also the water guy. Don't forget the water guy.
The water guy. That's right. The water guy.
And by the way, other than sanitation guy and health inspector, everybody in this fucking town fucking hates each other.
Oh, I was gonna say Sheriff Reese is a fucking dickhead. He hates.
Yes.
When Mike Brady goes into the water supervisor guy's office, like immediately the water supervisor's like, this fucking ass. You know, they hate each other. Everyone in this town hates one another.
A lot of animosity.
One another.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, can we talk about
the wicked bitch of the West?
I was gonna. So the next scene that you end up rolling into, you're at this bar restaurant, and you're just inside. Clearly, it's filmed in Spain. If you could see it, right? Even the extras are all Spanish actors and actresses, or just extras. And you're at this like booth, and the two couples there, Mike, our hero, Mike, and his wife, and then his friend. David Watson and his wife Maureen, the blonde who's hammered off of Heineken's or whatever, right?
Yes.
So she's smashed and she's like, "Why don't we dance? Does anyone want to dance?" She's, "Oh, we're in the most fucking boring town in the world." You know, it's like, oh, go ahead, Jess. Yeah.
All I was gonna say, for the record, she's spot on. criticisms of these other duds is absolutely accurate.
Yes.
Because those people are fucking suck.
I did reference in my notes here, which is a shout out to our Franklin Award for our full length episodes, which is of course the character we wanted to die that we hated. Mm-hmm. She's the invert. She's the anti Franklin Award. She's right about everything. I'd rather hang out with her than any of these other stiffs in the movie.
Absolutely alive. In a town
of people, of walking dead people for all intents and purposes. So yeah, the plot spins out from there, but it's really funny. Then he runs into on his way out. Mike and his wife decide to leave because Maureen's so hammered and she's a bad look, and he's got to get up early the next morning to go out with the sheriff to inspect this house. And as they're leaving, they run into their friends Don and who's the sanitation inspector.
Isn't
what?
Isn't it his boss? Isn't it his boss?
No, it's not his boss.
No, they're just like friends who know each other from similar spheres, right. but his wife. Can we talk about Don's wife? She I don't know, good 30 years older. She looks like he's taking his mom out and he's kissing her on the mouth, and it's just really rank.
And she had an accent too
in the movie,
or
something like that, obviously.
Yeah, no idea where she's from. A very ambiguous.
I mean, it's very, very clearly like Southern Europe set of extras.
Yeah,
all over the place. So I mean, it's very clear.
In that scene, right before as that scene ends, and I guess we'll have to move on. Right as that scene ends, they walk away. In the background, not in the foreground, but in the background, there's the bar behind them with people sitting at the bar. I don't know if anyone else knows this, but it drove me crazy. I watched it 35 times. There's right before the camera cuts, they walk off screen. So now you're just looking at the people at the bar, but it's only for a millisecond. There's a guy at the bar with like a 1.5 foot long handlebar mustache that's thicker than your head, Jazz. And he's smoking like a pipe, and he just exhales this plume of thick smoke. And I'm like, you can't be an extra.
Salvador Dali.
If you go back, you got to watch it. You won't be able to unsee it. He's a fascinating individual. So what we have
because the villain from one of the Dollars trilogy, the Sergio Leone trilogy, is in it. And I'm trying to. Was it him?
Oh my God!
Really?
God, that would be a great pull sled.
Frank Branya.
Oh man!
Now you're gonna make me Google it, aren't you?
Amazing stuff.
Let me see if that's it.
While you're Googling that, I would
for
like
a few
to call
dollars
out...
more.
Wait, spell that last name. Sled. Hold on. Frank Ganya.
Branya. So it's got the till above the N.
Okay. Shit, that might have been him. All right, go ahead, Jazz.
While you're Googling, so I would just like to call out. Then there's the cut scene to the guy who they eventually discover dead in the house or whatever the next morning.
Oh yeah, the old.
Yes.
He's like walks in with the eviction stuff and all that, and he picks up like who knows how old the pizza is that he eats. He takes a bite. It's like this is gross.
Yeah.
How does he discard his pizza?
Yes.
Does he toss it in the trash? No, he does not toss it in the trash.
Well, technically,
does he just toss it outside. Like I can't be bothered with the trash, but I'm just going to toss it right outside my front door. No, he does not do that. He opens his basement door and just tosses it down the steps into the basement, which seems to me like literally more work than just tossing it outside.
Well, like, he's been doing this for years, right? Like his basement is literally like a foot full of shit down there, just trash, right? And refuse. And the reason is his house has been condemned. He must keep breaking. You see, he spits on the sign on his way in. It says condemned by so he's living in a hovel, against county ordinance, presumably. And he's just in there. He has no electricity, right? He has nothing. He's just trash and shit everywhere. So he's making do, Jazz. The guy's trying to, but my question about him was he's walking down the street and this group of ruffians in a car, scream by and almost hit him, and he falls down and he curses them. And then he calls a dog over. He wasn't walking that dog. He was walking by himself. The dog is like on a roped leash, and he's just, hey, how about you and you go inside and get a snort? Would you like that? And he's all nice. I'm like, not sure this is your dog. And then he walks in and the dog refuses to go in. He's like, go fuck yourself, dog. And just leaves him outside.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know what's happening with any of that. But it was awesome. Every scene in this movie is fucking awesome. The gore wasn't bad at all for all the terrible acting and this is one of the equations.
Slugs just go straight for the eyes.
Well, they got to. Look, one of the best, speaking of eyes, one of the best I mean, I know we don't do all this, but the best death scene in it is the guy who's trying to Mike's friend David, the guy who's he got the suit
Oh
on,
yeah,
and
he's meeting with the
he's meeting with the builders to see if they can get
Yeah.
that mall, that shopping mall, thrown up on what used to be the toxic waste site, the dump site. And he's already, unbeknownst to him, he's eaten part of this slug that his wife Maureen, who it's not her fault, by the way, that she chopped
it up and just served him slug salad.
Slug salad.
It's not her fault either. So
She woke up out of a stone cold crash from being drunk all day, jumped off the couch, and started whipping up a salad. What do you expect her to do? There was a slug in it. She dices it up
all day. She had gone to work.
Oh no, she's asleep on the couch and she has the bottle underneath her bed. But she
came home from work because she had the groceries, remember? And then she put the
lettuce. That's right.
And he comes in, she pretends she's making dinner, and she's like, "Oh, something light, a big salad with slugs."
Yeah, so he eats the slugs. He has some pains through the night, but he's okay. He meets for his investors meeting the next day at the fancy restaurant, which is again in Spain somewhere. And he starts hacking up, bleeding through the nose into his glass. He's coughing. All of a sudden, his fucking head explodes, and worms
escalated very quickly.
Worms come out of his eye sockets. It's incredible. It is wonderful. I mean, it's really what you're looking for in a movie.
Can I talk about another one of my favorite?
Let's go.
Things related to that. So then his head explodes. It's his friend. The sheriff's there trying to figure out what's going on.
Yep.
Our hero, the health inspector, comes in, and the sheriff's like, "Well, can you tell me what happened?" He's like, "Well, no, I just got here. Of course, I can't tell you what happened." And the sheriff's like, "Listen, all I'm trying to understand is this guy's head exploded." And there's more. Do I need to shut down this restaurant or not? It's like, do you need an assessment from the health inspector about whether you need to shut down this restaurant today?
It's
like there's blood everywhere. There's not a surface in this restaurant that's not coated in blood. Can we open?
Can we just keep serving up some pasta fazool? It's an Italian restaurant, and I love that while he's pontificating about whether these worms and slugs originated from the restaurant or if they were brought in, that the Italian chef is just like giving him the stereotypical arm punching fuck you thing, right? He's doing the fuck you thing. He's getting pulled away. Like, there's no slugs in my restaurant. It's just
the chef. He come in here. He breaking my gugazza.
He breaking my balls. It's awesome. I do want to say now, this is not absent some serious themes here. So which I did take note on. Oh
my god!
You've got the environmentalist bent,
of
right?
Course, sure.
Which is the horrors of discarding the toxic waste and its subsequent downstream effects on society, as well as the local flora and fauna, which we all see are endangered. You've got the indictment of the bureaucratic red tape and government inefficiency, which of course is fucking personified by the sheriff and the county health inspector and the fucking sanitation guy. No one's on the same page. No one can do. They actually don't do anything. If you notice, even Mike Brady doesn't really solve anything. The 80s big business greed corporate culture, to wit. You've got the developers trying to purchase the land and excavate the site in order to build a shopping mall. And in the process, they dislodge the toxic waste that had been buried years prior, which of course seeps into the local water supply. You've got your Jaws ripoff, not just from the Jaws, the animal, like you've got it from the trope that Jaws created from the irresponsible mayor, right? You have that same thing here with the sheriff trying to just like fuck he's like, no. Like, tomorrow's the 4th of July. The beach is going to be fucking open, which is basically, that's why he's not closing down the restaurant, even though there are fucking blood geysers everywhere. What else we got? I think that's about the best I could squeeze out of it, Jazz. Come on.
The only thing I'll say on the environmental front, just based on what seems to be the hygiene level of this town, between discarded pizza box guy and can we open the restaurant despite a human exploding? I don't know if the environmental disaster was really like the thing. I mean, they were clearly breeding all kinds of things just like through their very nature. And like, our hero Maureen, like her food hygiene, just like within there, it's like, was it the slug, or was it just like, the listeria that like bred a new colony because she left it out for who knows how long. So I don't know.
Well, on the sex front, they did all want to. They did all want to fuck all the time. What the? Why?
Was the one chick in the beginning swimming in like panties?
Yeah,
she's not in like a bathing suit. She's in like panties with like a lace.
I don't know.
Fringe, like long hips and stuff.
I would say they didn't all actually want to fuck all the time. The teenage sex death scene that happened, the guy, he could barely be, he was much more interested in getting drunk than he was in having sex, right? I mean, that was like for some reason.
I think. Well, wait a second. I think that was
Bobby.
Bobby. I think that was a misdirect. I think he was fucking, and I think he lost it a little bit. And
well, even before that, when she was trying to get him to go in the first place, he was like, "Wait, I just want to stop and drink. Check out this selection."
Yeah. And then he reaches for the bottle. I just need to. What do you say? I need to recharge, or
recharge my batteries.
I need to recharge my batteries. So I think maybe
whatever.
Yeah, I think he was having some trouble, and he was trying to
obviously
misdirect here. I was gonna say, it was really weird where they tried to shoehorn in this like Halloween party later on with like the teenagers. Right. Like, and you're all raising your eyebrows because there was no indication that this took place during Halloween at all for the whole movie until there was like one jack-o'-lantern and it was like, oh yeah, we're doing a Halloween party tonight out in the field. We're going to get boozed up. And then for no reason at all.
No, it served no purpose. It was like nothing connected to the plot.
Right. Just more people to die. Just more people to die by slugs, which was fine, except that they introduced a rape scene.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they introduced something that was almost date rape and then an attempted assault like immediately after.
Back to back.
Yeah.
And who dies out of it? Is there any morality play? No. The woman who has been victimized twice in a row gets thrown into like a hole in the ground into the sewer, gets dragged away and killed by the slugs.
Yeah.
The perpetrators seem fine. Nothing wrong.
They're clearly went on.
Also, for a town that gardens and has a greenhouse and all this shit, everybody's gardening. Nobody realized that you just put salt on slugs.
No, you needed a.
Did that growing up because we had them in our garden and salt kills them. Like, what kind of movie would it have been if they had, they have the big salt houses for when it gets
when it snows,
yeah, and then they pull out all that salt. That's all they needed.
Guys, you get a couple flatbeds of trucks with some sodium on the back, and that's the end of the movie.
I think these slugs have clearly evolved. I mean, you saw them basically do piranha level underwater death.
Yeah, these are carnivorous slugs. These are a different breed. You can't kill them with salt.
As with the screenshot you sent around, Jesse, of the amazing scene that when it showed, I also rewound it and watched it again, of just sort of the guy reaching for the slug opening his mouth with the little teeth and like taking a bite. Amazing special effects in this movie. Absolutely incredible
stuff. It looked like something from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Sort of
fucking incredible.
I mean, I'm not exaggerating. The special effects across the board were superb.
Lots of blood. The best they could do with practical effects. They really, I mean, this is really why I like this era of stuff, aside from the schlock ironic factor, but like they bring the fucking gore and they work hard to make it on a shoestring budget. I did want to go back real quick to the guy who wrote the book or the book that this was based on. And he also co-wrote the screenplay, the guy, Sean Hudson. Just as we're talking about this movie and how crazy it was and how like there was a lot done with it. It was entertaining. I think we all liked it. Yeah. He also wrote another book that was supposed to become a movie, but it never got picked up. And I just want to watch Jazz's face as he reacts to this. It was called Spawn. And the premise is as follows. I wrote this myself. Aborted baby fetuses seek revenge and try to telepathically kill the women who aborted them. Boom. Let's fucking go. That movie needs to be made today in 2025.
Oh my God.
The amazing thing is that could be coded far left or far right, depending on the lens.
And if you have old JP Simón directing it, if he's not in the grave, which I assume he is 10 times over, oh my God, you'll never know if it's from the right or the left.
Yeah. Incredible stuff. I mean, overall, like clearly Slugs is a piece of shit, but like it's incredibly entertaining. Just like even from the opening of, like this death that has nothing to do with slugs to immediately like splashing slugs, the movie on it. Oh, the movie? oh, it's like
Right.
Slugs versus like all the other sort of
Sure.
vehicles and just like the way everyone in this town just absolutely hates one another. The terrible music selection, like there's a weird, almost like ice cream truck music when the sheriff's driving around that I was literally laughing my ass off as it was going. Like, this has nothing to do with anything. The sheriff yelling at his poor deputy for no goddamn reason. He's like, deputy does his job, and he's like, Dobbs, get out of my sight. He's like, huh? Amazing stuff.
If you want to talk about the sheriff driving around, so a lot of this involves Mike Brady, our hero, driving around with the sheriff. They're sort of, at each other's throats, and they're driving in the police car. The police car, they could not, which was a real police car from the Ashton, or Lyons, New York, and they couldn't actually leave the lot with it. So if you see, they're driving in a giant circle around the lot. It's window, 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 white van. Window, 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 white van.
What about when they pull into the house of the guy who died?
Yeah. I don't know how they did that part, but you'll see when they drive, look out the window behind the sheriff, and they're just going in fucking circles. It's awesome.
Yeah. Incredible stuff.
It's so much good stuff. Sled, you've been pretty
ahead,
quiet, Sled. Yeah, I want to hear a hot Sled take here. What did you think?
Oh, I mean, it's a pretty shitty movie.
Fun? Did you have fun watching it? These are fun for me. These are the kinds of movies that I
did a lot
watch.
of reading on what I think the slugs were that they were using in the.
Let's go. Well, let's get into it. All I know is gastropods. Yeah, I went into the phylum or whatever the fuck you're going to give us. Yeah.
But I think they were European black slugs from the looks at them, which are a big. If you want
sounds pretty racist, but all right, if that's what you want to do.
I mean, they just happen to be black. They have some brown ones, and there's even an albino one on the Wikipedia page. But yeah, they are hermaphroditic in real life. They're big. I think they get up to 6 inches long almost.
Don't they shit out of the back of their heads? I think I read that somewhere.
I don't know.
They have like a hole in the back of their skull that they shit out of.
I fucking hate slugs. Like the thought of like touching a slug is like one of the most revolting things. Like if you've ever like grabbed one and held it in your hand, they feel so fucking nasty.
Ugh,
Jeannie,
so slimy.
Jeannie, remember Dougie DeVries?
Yeah.
He used to collect slugs, and he had a giant jar of slugs sitting on his porch. And every day we would come in and he would add to it. And then one day I think someone tipped it over, and the next morning there was just like a slow motion jailbreak of like 1,000 slime trails as they all tried to get back to the bushes.
Who's this kid? He became like a pedophile or
one of our neighborhood
serial killer or something?
Some kid in our neighborhood. No, just some kid in our neighborhood. Old Dougie. There's
they're invasive in the U.S. if it is that kind of slug, though. So,
what's that, Sled?
They're invasive in the United States. I remember. I think I remember seeing some in Oregon actually when I lived there. They have some really big, and they're not like those banana slugs, but yeah. So no, the movie. I mean, it was fine.
It's funny that the only reason I think this was even watchable was there is a little bit of money and name behind it. If you noticed, the producer was Francesca De Laurentiis.
Yeah.
Dino's adult daughter.
Okay.
Our guy Dino De Laurentiis. She actually also
money laundering scheme or something.
I think there's always some illicit money exchange going on when the De Laurentiis are involved. She also produced Conan the Barbarian. I know you're a big fan, Sled.
That's a great movie.
So she had her, she wanted this done for whatever X, Y, or Z reasons.
It opened in 7 theaters in the United States and grossed $15,842.
Oh my god,
that's way more money than I would have expected it to gross. Was there something like with a very similar name to Slugs that opened the same day? Like that they're like, oh, give me a ticket to Slums, please. It's like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad for 2 theaters. I mean,
yeah.
What was a ticket? Like $5?
Right.
Not even probably in 1988. I don't know.
$2.50, $1.75.
Every Spanish expat in the country flocked to their chance. Yeah, this is going to be our big guy, our big Spanish director debut.
Did you guys have any quotes? Because I had a quote I thought that I couldn't stop laughing at.
The only quote I wrote down was the one I said about where the sheriff is. Dobbs just gives him
Yeah.
a literally factual, useful piece of information.
Right.
And Dobbs and the sheriff's just like, Dobbs, get out of my sight. Huh?
So
He's
So,
just so angry.
he also says the same Sheriff Reese, who's just he's a rageaholic. You don't have the authority to declare happy birthday, not in this town, which I have no idea what that means, but it's awesome. And then
No, that wasn't the sheriff, was it? Or was that that was the water guy, wasn't it?
oh yeah, you're right. You're right, you're right. But
Frank Phillips.
the other guy who I think is Don, the sanitation inspector, Mike's buddy, he says to his wife / mom, he says, Brady and I are going to kill some man-eating slugs, but I tell you what, when I do get back, how about if we get naked and get crazy?
That was a fantastic one.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Slugs and naked should not be in the same sentence.
Yeah.
That just...
Yeah, I mean, it was
There's
also
probably
just like
somebody out there into that shit. I bet you there's somebody out there like they fucking get down with like they got a whole bunch of. It's probably that fucking kid that y'all grew up with.
Dougie DeVries, he might be. I mean, who knows?
That reminded me of the one of the other. I have so many notes on this movie. We're not going to obviously do it in
Let's
a
go.
time cuts. But like one of the other things I wrote down was, so when he goes to see the water commissioner the first time, the lady's like, "You can't go in there. This room, it's off limits or whatever."
Yeah.
He goes in there. The guy's just fucking eating lunch.
Yeah, with his feet up on the desk. Yeah.
And what is he eating? I wrote down, literally, I have as myself two questions like, what is the water commissioner eating? Multiple question marks. Hamburger and peas. There was like the side was just like a pile of peas or something that had a bunch of peas on it. I was like, I don't remember this from the 80s. Is this a Spanish thing? Maybe is that what's going on?
I think.
Like, what do Americans eat for lunch?
Right.
It's like,
he has no idea.
peas.
I mean, it's very clear when you listen to the director's perception of what American teenagers are like that he has no idea, right? Like if you listen to the conversations, it's not just be real terrible dialogue. It's like someone who also has a language barrier and doesn't understand the vernacular of the time.
Yeah. Another note, if we're just going on, you cut off when you think Prime Cuts is too long, but another note that I had was, so Brady goes to I forget who he says it to first. He's like, I have a theory. There's slugs and they've undergone some kind of mutation that has turned them into whatever. So he says that and people are like, you're crazy because obviously, and then he goes to his friend, the sanitation worker. He's like, I have a theory, and tells him the theory about the sewers. And Brady's like, what? Excuse me? He loses it at the sewer theory after he like shares his mutant slug theory. It's like it makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. Yeah. Right. And then my other favorite part is at the end after the sanitation guy dies and Brady climbs out of the sewer or whatever. He's like, if only I could, they're all sad. It's like, if only I could have done something. And the lame British lab scientist guy is just sort of like, he knew what he was getting into. We all did. It's like none of you idiots knew any. You turn this into this like vast, selfless thing. It was just like so just such a poorly written movie that each scene doesn't have anything to do with the next scene. Just no carryover, no continuity.
It's strung together, and each person or people are introduced solely for the purpose of having them killed off in the next next scene,
or just to show how much everyone hates one another.
Right.
Let's have people.
I tell you what, though, my kink, of course, is delving into these tertiary lives of these people. I want to be at one of those interior bars at Lombardo's or whatever the hell it was called. I just want to be there. I want to hang out with the guy with the mustache, the Dali guy at the bar, and have drinks and watch Maureen get smashed.
Yeah, Maureen's life goes on. Like, what does Maureen do from here on out?
I tell you what,
she kick this podunk town.
She's right back at that bar. She's right back at that bar for sure.
What's the dance? Duds.
All right, guys. I think that's all we got. All we can milk out of this thing. Thanks once again for joining us for our first in our series of Prime Cuts episodes, our schlock horror extravaganza. Next week on our agenda for episode 2 is going to be a 1980 classic, Humanoids from the Deep. So join us then. Thanks once again.